Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's OpenNebula webinar. Um, I have a feeling that most of you are going to be particularly eager and excited for today's session, as it's always interesting to get the latest scoop on what's new and upcoming in uh, new versions of software. My name is Michael Abdu. I'm the account manager at OpenNebula Systems. Today I'm going to be joined by our OpenNebula product manager, Jim Freeman. Okay. And this is the overall agenda for today. I'm going to start out by giving a quick overview of OpenNebula, more for those of you who may be joining us for the first time. And then I'm going to hand things over to Jim, and he's going to walk through a bulk of the session here, starting off with a quick overview of the unique opportunity in the current marketplace, primarily thanks to Broadcom and VMware. And then he's going to jump into giving some detailed insight into OpenNebula developments and what you can expect in upcoming versions of the software. And then he will give an opportunity to explain how you can provide your feedback on the software and how you suggestions that you may have for future developments. And then I'm going to quickly wrap up with a quick overview of commercial and partnership opportunities. Okay. So let me start quickly. What is OpenNebula? So OpenNebula is an open source cloud management and orchestration software that ultimately allows you to create an enterprise private cloud. It allows you to utilize, obviously, core data center resources, but you can also utilize bare metal resources from public cloud providers, as well as resources at the edge. Okay, so OpenNebula will sit on top of all of those types of cloud resources and give you the ability to manage virtual machine workloads, system containers, as well as orchestrate your Kubernetes clusters. Okay, so ultimately providing, as you see here, a virtual infrastructure management layer of capabilities, one that's sensible, simple, extensible, creating a multi-tenant environment, a multi-tenant cloud environment, giving you access to, we have our one key appliance that allows you to manage and orchestrate Kubernetes clusters. And like I said, giving you access to control and manage resources across the cloud edge continuum. So why use OpenNebula? This is a quick overview of some of the benefits, really, and then it starts with OpenNebula really being a simple solution, giving you a single pane of glass, as I mentioned, allowing you to control resources across that continuum. It's a lightweight solution, a single package of code. So from the standpoint of deploying an initial cloud, maintaining and managing it with upgrades, the process to do so is pretty straightforward. It's simple and straightforward to do. You will get elastic and automated capability and being able to manage the deployment of your clusters. And I think one of the important facets that we'll be talking about today is the importance of OpenNebula being an open source solution, a pure open source solution. You're going to be free from vendor lock-in, right? So ultimately, you will not be tied to any particular software or underlying components. You can develop and build out your OpenNebula cloud today, and be able to evolve and choose to make adjustments and updates in the future without being tied to any specific vendor. Okay, we have, over the course of over 17 years now, many large-scale production deployments across geographic distributions, and it's demonstrating that OpenNebula is a proven and scalable solution. And when you compare OpenNebula to other products out in the marketplace, running it at the enterprise level, you'll see that it is a much more cost-effective solution than most of our competition. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to hand things over to Jim. He's going to begin his review of his slides.
Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Jim. So I'm going to spend the first couple of minutes just talking about the market opportunity right now. Now, today's webinar is not going to all be about VMware, but that's kind of where all the market opportunity has been for the last 18 months or so, really. We're seeing this at OpenNebula as well as I'm sure many of similar platforms see the same, where we're getting, sometimes more than dozens of inbound contacts every day, looking to move away from VMware, basically. Throughout the last 18 months, we've seen these big changes at VMware, whether it's changes in product bundles, forcing customers into more expensive packages than they were before. These come with huge price increases, right? People are saying up to 700% increase, in what they had the year before. And even in recent weeks, right? VMware's announced a new minimum commit of 72 cores per license. So, this makes it really untenable for the smaller VMware customers just to keep up with them licensing costs. It's not just customers, right? It's partners as well. Whether you're reselling licenses or you're a service provider as part of the VMware service provider program, people are being ejected due to new requirements and new rules that have been enforced by Broadcom. And pretty much anywhere you read online nowadays, you hear about deteriorating support or and just really that huge uncertainty there is around VMware right now. In recent years or previous years, before the last 18 months or so, VMware was always that safe bet, right? That you can't really go wrong with it. And it's really been, that kind of feeling previously is no longer really there. And it's really been the catalyst for us at OpenNebula, along with the upcoming feature developments we've been working on. And that's really what I want to talk about today. So our kind of headline feature in version 7 that will be coming in Q2 this year is OneDRS. So this is a drop-in replacement for VMware's DRS. And this is by far the most popular request we've received at OpenNebula. We're proud to announce the launch of this in 7.0. This will come with different automation levels, the ability to set migration thresholds, customizable policies, and a really advanced prediction algorithm based on forecasted resource usage. We're really excited to get this out there, and hopefully we can start testing this in the next couple of weeks, and we're really excited to get this out into your hands. Now, the next couple of slides is going to be around some of the additional features we've done. It might be a bit of a long one, but hopefully I'll go through as quick as possible. So kind of get the chance to take all this in. And I really wanted to kick off first of all about backups, right? So this has been a really big focus area for us. From talking to customers and prospects and users in recent months, Veeam is highly regarded as one of the most popular backup and restore products on the market. With this in mind, we've been working on a really tight-knit integration where you can back up and restore your VMs that are in your OpenNebula clusters, all via the Veeam Backup Console. We're really excited to get this launched, and that should be out very soon as well. As OpenNebula is a platform with an open architecture, we work with many third-party vendors, and as such, we've had Ceph as a supported data store driver for a while. With 7.0, we're bringing in the ability to take incremental backups for those using Ceph storage, utilizing the native Ceph snapshot capabilities that come as standard. And finally, on the backup side of things, we're bringing in full backup support in OpenNebula for those who use LVM data stores. These are often used in conjunction when you're using shared storage like iSCSI or Fiber Channel, This is another important backup feature to add to our arsenal. The next piece of things I want to talk about is storage. Now, I just mentioned around LVM data stores there, and this is probably one of the most popular choices our customers use today. 7.0 will bring a bunch of performance increases for those who use LVM data stores, as well as the ability to take snapshots of these, which is a limitation of using LVM data stores today. So we're really excited to get this out there as well. It's been, for those who are looking to migrate from other platforms, we very much have a bring your own SAN mentality. So we don't want to say you can't use OpenNebula because you use this type or that type. So we've been working really hard to get this out. So those of you migrating away can bring your iSCSI or fiber channel backed data store to OpenNebula as well. Even for those using local data stores as well. So we've brought in a brand new set of operations streamlined for using QCOW2 based VM disks on local storage. And another big one is about our integration with NetApp. So we've been building a native NetApp driver for those of you who use NetApp SANs in OpenNebula. This allows you to use the native capabilities of NetApp to manage LUNs that are treated as VM disks in OpenNebula to ensure maximum performance. And while we're bringing out this NetApp driver in version 7, we're already looking and working with many other SAN vendors as well, from Pure Storage, Dell, HPE, and many more that we want to launch in future releases as well. Very much of this alignment of bring your own SAN. We want you to use what you already have. Another item on the storage side is about OVAs. So we get this a lot of people using OVAs or get provided OVAs from vendors, and they want to use them in OpenNebula as well. Once 7.0 is launched, you'll be able to import these OVAs into OpenNebula, and they can be used to define virtual machine templates the same way as you do today using OpenNebula's advanced templating functionality. And lastly, on the storage side, and this kind of comes with a lot of our focus on user experience in this release. We've added a huge benefit for those who use NFS data stores, where OpenNebula will mount these automatically. There's no longer a need for your admin team to go and mount NFS shares on every single hypervisor that you have. So this will be done automatically. It'll be a big improvement for those on the admin side who may have spent a bit of time doing that in the past. Moving on to some additional functionality we have coming. So some of you may be aware we announced ARM64 support in a maintenance release of 6.10 just a couple of weeks ago, sorry. And 7.0 will make this generally available. This is both for guest operating systems. So this is for those of you who use the OpenNebula marketplace and download templates from there. You'll already notice that there's almost every template now has an ARM64 version as well. And more importantly, the OpenNebula packages as well. So if you use ARM-based CPUs, you can build your OpenNebula entire environment on that now. We've also brought in the ability to specify cluster resources as part of a usage quota. So for those of you who use usage quotas today, it's pretty much set for the entire environment. And while that will still be the default, where a quota will be applied globally throughout your entire environment, but now you'll be able to specify different limits across different clusters within your platform. And staying on the topic of quotas, you can now also create your own kind of customized line items as well. So let's say you wanted to control maybe GPU usage or software licenses or something like that. You can add these as brand new line items in the quota to kind of limit, how many virtual GPUs a certain user or group can have, or number of Windows licenses, for example. This would be a really important feature, especially for those who, like service providers, who need to kind of limit resource pools like this. So on the networking side of the features that's coming in 7.0, We're bringing in transparent proxies for virtual machines. So you can now proxy the access to any external service. So this is things like OneGate, for example, without the need to create complex network topologies as part of it. We'll also be adding VLAN filtering support for those of you who use Linux bridge-based virtual networks in OpenNebula as well. Now I want to cover some of the improvements we've made to like applications in OpenNebula. So a lot of these are through the One Apps kind of platform we have, where we offer a lot of useful templates and applications to our users. So we brought in it's more of a general functionality improvement around Windows performance. So for those of you who use Windows guests in OpenNebula, you'll notice some big performance improvements there. And also so we brought an implementation with Cluster API, Kubernetes Cluster API for OpenNebula. So this will allow you to easily provision and operate Kubernetes clusters inside of your existing OpenNebula environment. So whether it's a brand new one or one you may build for this. The latest version that we've just deployed of OneKE, version 1.31, this is a template that we've created to streamline the deployment of Kubernetes clusters inside of OpenNebula. We've had this around for a while, but the latest version we've just pushed out, 1.31. This is now also certified as well, so this has an official CNCF certification as part of it. And lastly, on the app side of thing, there's a way to simplify the definition of multi-tier applications in our platform. So this is using services, OneFlow, and for those of you who want to use our virtual router appliance as part of that, now you'll find a lot of improvements there. So almost everything we've spoken about today has been around the VMware market, because it's where we see a lot of it today. But I just want to say, this is not the only kind of focus or interest we see at OpenNebula. We work with some large AI factories, and due to this, we've brought in some really useful features and improvements, aimed at this use case as well. We're supporting NVIDIA mediated device framework that was first introduced in Ubuntu 24.04. So this is a new framework that's used to expose vGPUs to virtual machine guests. Now, this is not a new feature, but OpenNebula supported PCI pass-through for quite a long time. But due to the increase in demand for AI workloads and needing GPUs in virtualization platforms, we've rejigged how we do this a bit. So we've made some big improvements to how GPUs or really any PCI pass-through device work in OpenNebula, and how they can be utilized by hosts and clusters in a much more effective, efficient way. And for those of you who've used the OpenNebula Ray appliance, my colleagues did a webinar on this just a few weeks ago. This can be downloaded via the OpenNebula marketplace. We've pushed out a brand new version of this. This will have support for NVIDIA Dynamo, VLLM, OpenAPI, as well as multi-GPU support and model quantization as well. There's some big improvements there for those of you using AI workloads in OpenNebula. So the last section I want to talk about today is around Sunstone. So something very close to my heart, and what we've been doing over in preparation for launching 7.0. We've been really working on modernizing our design with a big focus around user experience. Some of you may have used previous versions of OpenNebula. So previous version of Sunstone, we had in 6.10. This was the first version that had that as the default UI. The new version of Sunstone is the default UI. Sorry, and there was a feature in the older version referred to as the cloud view. And this was aimed at end users, right? So if you're a service provider, you would give this to your end customers to log in and self-serve their platform. In 7.0, we're bringing that back, maybe a bit of a phased approach, but we'll start bringing it back. It will look a lot more slick, user-friendly UI for those service providers who need that end user cloud view. We've implemented functionality around dynamic tabs in Sunstone, and it's quite a technical feature, but it does allow a lot of flexibility and customization options. I think the real benefit of this is potentially something we'll see in months to come, which will, due to the dynamicness of this will allow us to bring in benefits such as rolling releases in the future. So you may not need to wait, a month or so for updates, where we can push things out a lot quicker here. I think that'd be really beneficial to those of you who need that. We've made some big VNC console improvements. So this is the remote console you have in Sunstone. We've really strengthened security and optimized VNC connections for a much more reliable experience. So again, this is a really important one for the end users who want to have that slick experience, as well as admins as well. And the last kind of item we're really going to be talking about today is about virtual machine template profiles. Now, virtual machine templates are a really important part of a platform, and sometimes it can take a while to get it completely configured and set up how you want. So us bringing in this kind of profiling element to this will really help kind of speed up starting with OpenNebula, as well as reproducing templates that you may want to do for a specific customer or department or something like that. And finally, on the Sunstone side, I just wanted to give a really quick sneak peek of some of the UI improvements we have coming in 7.0. Now these are still in development, so I cannot promise you it will look exactly the same when we launch in Q2. But our team are working really hard on this, and for those of you using OpenNebula today, I'm sure you can already start to see some huge improvements there. So I've spent the last few minutes talking about what we're currently building and what we're due to release in Q2 this year. And the obvious question is what's next. So we've already started talking with OpenNebula customers and prospects around future improvements to OpenNebula at the same time, because we're launching 7.0 and we're going straight into what we're looking to release in 7.2 as well. And I really wanted to use this opportunity to get input from you guys, from our customers, users, partners, prospects as well, around what you're looking for in OpenNebula, whether that's feedback on the platform today, whether that's new features or improvements or anything like that. And the QR code on the screen here, and if you have a direct link to this in the chat as well. This will allow us to provide your product feedback and hopefully give myself and the team an opportunity to talk to you, and we'd love to hear what you want to see in OpenNebula next. Now, this is kind of it from me, but I do just want to say, in the weeks leading up to 7.0 and post launch of 7.0, we'll be doing some more webinars with a deeper dive into a lot of these features, like things like DRS, for example. That needs a whole webinar of its own. I can't do it justice on a bit of a sneak peek edition like today. So please stay tuned to all of our updates, because we'll be announcing these in the coming weeks and months. And I'm sure it'll be really good to get some deep dives on some of these features, especially the big ones like NetApp support, Veeam support, DRS, etc. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass back to Michael now, just to kind of do a bit of an overview of the commercial options at OpenNebula. And thanks everyone for listening.
Excellent. Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, so I wanted to take a minute or two here just to give a little bit of an overview of what we offer at the commercial level, really, and being able to run OpenNebula at the enterprise level. So, OpenNebula is fully open source software. You can download Community Edition from our website and begin using it full-fledged, right? But what we offer to companies, who are looking for added, some added benefits, and security is really based around the OpenNebula subscription that we offer. Okay, this is just a subscription that we make available based on your underlying infrastructure. Really, it takes into account the number of clouds and hypervisor nodes that you have. There's no need to drive into cores or CPUs or sockets, right? So it's a really straightforward model. And these subscriptions provide you access to benefits like, including having access to the enterprise edition of OpenNebula. Okay, so the enterprise edition is a more hardened version of OpenNebula, one that has more regular maintenance releases. So you, on a monthly or bi-monthly level, we're making maintenance releases available to subscribing customers. Gives you access to LTS versions as well. But the main benefit of these subscriptions is really around having access to our enterprise support. Okay, so we have an enterprise support team dedicated to addressing issues, answering any questions, providing workarounds, really giving you, direct support based on established SLAs, whether 9 to 5 or 24/7, depending on the level of subscription you have, and really working closely and directly with our enterprise support team. Okay, these subscriptions also give you access to various professional services that we offer, including a cloud deployment service, where we work with you directly to come up with a design, and ultimately we would deploy the cloud for you in your environment and hand it over to you to be managed and administered by you going forward. We have other services like upgrade services, training, consulting, and engineering services. We even have a newly released VMware migration service, which is one that we use to help VMware customers to migrate their VMware workloads, from their VMware ESX infrastructure to an OpenNebula platform using KVM. Okay, and then it also provides access to our knowledge base. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out that we have OpenNebula Business Partner Program. So, it's really a partner program that it's in place to allow organizations, to allow and support organizations, right, to build and grow their businesses with OpenNebula for their customers. Okay, so whether you're a solution reseller or a system integrator providing services around your OpenNebula cloud technology, or you're a managed cloud provider, we have unique programs in place that provide support for partners and offer various benefits. So if you're interested, be sure to reach out. Okay, so that is pretty much it for today. I know that we have now some questions coming up in the chat. I think Jimmy will be able to take a look at some of these, some that have come through. And I urge you to, if you're here and you have some additional questions, please send them through the chat and we can address them here.
I think some of these questions we'll need to take offline. So if you guys can reach out to us, the contact on the screen here, or the forum, we're more than happy to answer these. But some of these we need to discuss with our team, especially things around being backported into the LTS release. But we can get back to you for sure.
All right. I think we can call that a wrap then.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks for joining.
Cheers. Bye-bye.